Welcome to today's lesson. Let's quickly look at the topic biotechnology. Biotechnology is very easy. Nothing complex about this topic. It's all about the technology that follows biology. The technologies that fuel biology. That's biotechnology. Every innovations employed to improve biology. That is biotechnology. And what is biotechnology? It is simply the use of biological systems, living organisms or their derivative, to develop or create products and processes for specific human uses. Right. It involves genetic engineering, fermentation technology, and manipulation of DNA for practical application. As simple as ABCD. Everything we they do will involve innovation to improve biology. That is biotechnology. As easy as ABCD. Now, let us understand the applications of this biotechnology that we have been discussing. Okay. On the left side of the table column, we have the sector that is applied in, while in the middle column, we have the applications, and the last column, we have the examples. On the left-hand side, the first one we have there is agriculture, is applied in agriculture. And what is the application of biotechnology in agriculture? Genetically modified crop. I know that you must have heard of that, genetically modified crop, whereby crops are genetically modified to either increase the size, increase the quantity of, production of the crop. Okay, those are genetically modified crop. You also have a kind of fruits called parthenocarpy. All are from genetic modification. Okay, parthenocarpy, fruits without seed. Okay, all of them are from genetic modification. All right. So you also have tissue culture. You have biofertilizers. That's biological fertilizers. Fertilizers made from biological products. You have biopesticide. You have biopesticide, and so on and so forth. So what are the examples of this agricultural application of biotechnology? BT cotton, which is insect resistant crop. Okay, you have golden rice, which is rich in vitamin A. You have tissue culture of bananas, and so on and so forth. The next under the sectors that biotechnology is applied in is in medicine, and the applications include the application of biotechnology in medicine include gene therapy, okay, recombinant DNA technology, vaccines, diagnostic tools, and so on and so forth. Okay, and what are the examples? Insulin production, that's one. Okay, it's used to produce insulin. It's part of the process of insulin production. All right, another one is gene therapy for cystic fibrosis. Okay, cystic fibrosis is a multi-dimensional disease. Okay, it can affect the respiratory system. It can also affect the digestive system. Okay, so it's not just only respiratory system and digestive system. It also affects other systems too. So you also have the hepatitis B vaccine and the PCR diagnostics. That's for diagnostics kits, and so on and so forth. So you can see the application of biotechnology. Everything that you do today on earth that involves biology has a link with biotechnology. So biotechnology fuels biology. The biological activities we carry out in our environment, they are all run by biotechnology. Still on the applications of biotechnology in another sector, again in the pharmaceutical sector, it is applied in the production of antibiotics, hormones, enzymes. Remember, you can use hormones for contraception. It can also be used to treat cancer. Hormones are also used for hormone replacement therapies for those that they have insufficient amount of such hormone in their body system. Okay, so it definitely leads to disorders. You have disorders due to insufficiency of a particular hormone or hormones. All right, so enzyme using microorganism, so production of enzyme using microorganism is through biotechnology. So let's look at the examples. The examples include penicillin from penicillium. So human growth hormone, interferon, statins. These are medication. These are drugs. Okay. So the next sector we have here that biotechnology is applied in is in the food industry. Okay, how is it applied? The application is in fermentation, food preservation, enzyme production, probiotics. Hope you know what probiotics are. Okay, probiotics are microorganisms that promotes the gut biome. Okay, the gut biota. Okay, it helps the intestine function better. Okay, probiotics. Okay, they are present in yogurt, very, very present in yogurt. So they help to maintain and develop the gut bacteria. Okay, the gut microorganisms, the microorganisms you have in the gut, the microbiome you have in the gut. They help you digest food and they maintain a healthy gut. Okay, they maintain the integrity of the gut, they maintain the functionality of the gut. So probiotic is like you're ingesting this microorganism to help you maintain the integrity of your gut microbiome. And the examples include cheese making, rennet, yogurt, which is using lactic acid bacteria. You have bread, using yeast to make bread so that make it rise. Okay, you also have single cell protein. Now let's look at the techniques of biotechnology. The techniques of biotechnology. The first here is in genetic engineering, and in genetic engineering, or let's list all of them first of all, because when you list before you start explaining, it helps you assimilate better. Okay, so the techniques of biotechnology include genetic engineering, fermentation, tissue culture, bioreactors. These are techniques of biotechnology. All right. So for genetic engineering, we have the recombinant DNA technology, whereby gene is cloned. It's called gene cloning. Look at this configuration. Editing of this gene. That's genetic engineering. Whereby genetic engineers edit genes. They reconfigure genes to form a new gene. Okay. It is through this genetic engineering that's where we get what those genetically modified crop, genetically modified organism. It's through the genetic engineering. So if you are a genetic engineer, you are going to make a lot of money. You are going to make a lot. So the next here is fermentation. We all know fermentation. I've taught fermentation in biology. I've taught it in chemistry. Okay, whereby microorganisms are used to produce food, alcohol, antibiotics, and so on and so forth. It's a process or a technique in biotechnology. The next is in tissue culture. Okay, micro propagation of plants in sterile condition. Okay, from the small or from the microscopic level. Okay, you artificially produce a crop. You artificially form a crop in the laboratory. Okay, from the micro level. Okay, then after making the crop what you want, you culture the tissue to give you what you want. Okay, then you can go and you transplant. That's tissue culture. All right, tissue culture, growing tissue artificially. Tissue culture. You are not just growing it artificially. You are starting it from the micro level, from the invisible level, from the smallest level. All right. The final one we have here is in bioreactors, and in bioreactors you have large-scale cultivation of cells for production. And in bioreactors, you have large-scale cultivation of cells for product formation. Hope you understood. Large scale. When you hear bioreactor, you're talking about large scale, okay? Now that we've understood biotechnology, let's quickly take some Jamb's repeat questions to test the knowledge we have acquired so far and also measure our preparedness for Jamb UTME. Jamb must repeat question 262. Which of the following is not an application of biotechnology in agriculture? A. Production of disease-resistant crop. B. Production of high-yielding crop varieties. C. Production of pest-resistant crop. D. Production of natural rainfall. What's the answer? This is so easy. This is a free mark. Give me that answer in the comment section and let's proceed to the next. Jamb must repeat question 263. The production of human insulin by genetic engineering is an example of biotechnology application in what? Is it in agriculture? Is it in medicine? Is it in food industry? Is it in environmental management? I taught you this not quite long ago. So show your village people that you are capable of making them fail. Drop the answer in the comment section. This is a free mark. Give me that answer, my scholars. Question 264. The use of microorganisms to produce antibiotics such as penicillin is an application of biotechnology in, is it in agriculture? Is it in medicine? Is it in pharmaceuticals? Is it in food industry? What's the answer? Drop the answer in the comment. The answer is just so obvious. The answer is on the answer is on the screen. The answer is in the question. So drop the answer in the comment section if you know you are ready or you are almost ready for your Jamb UTME. Now let's go and click the next topic we have in front of us. The theories of evolution. The theories of evolution. But before we look at the theories of evolution, we have to quickly understand evolution. What is evolution? Evolution is very simple. Evolution means the way we as organism or the way any organism evolve. How we came about. How organisms came about. That's evolution. What were you before you turned to this? Do you used to be an ant? Do you used to be a macromolecule? Do you used to be short and now you are taller? Hausa people used to be short people. Hausa people used to be people with long limbs. Were the Yorubas big head before now? Or were the Yorubas small headed before what we see now? Or the kind of Yoruba people we see now? That's evolution. From the past, how you used to look in the past. How have you grown? What have you grown into? What have you transformed into? That's evolution. Maybe before, we used to be short. As time goes on, we started becoming taller. Okay? Maybe before, we used to exist as ants. Or before, we used to exist as goats. Or as monkeys. But now, we exist as humans. You know that many scientists believe that humans evolved from apes. Hope you know that. Hope you are aware of that. That humans evolved from what? From apes. All right. So since we have understood evolution, I just give you the layman definition, the layman term to know, like the layman explanation of evolution, so that you get an in-depth understanding of what evolution is all about. You evolve. That transformation over time. Transformation over time. That's evolution. Okay. Transformation over time. There must be a trace from how you used to be to how you are now. That is evolution. The theories of evolution, we have two theories of evolution. We have the Lamarck's theory of evolution and we have the Darwin's theory of evolution. First of all, let's take the Lamarck's theory of evolution. Okay, the table we have on the screen, on the left side of the table, we have the aspects of this Lamarck's theory. On the right side, we have the details, what it entails. Okay, so proponents, the aspects of proponent, Jean-Baptiste Lamarck in 1744 to 1829. Now this from this year to this year, now I live for this earth. Okay, so this Jean Lamarck proposed the theory of evolution called the use and disuse. Okay, he stated that organs develop with use and weaken when you don't use them. That's it. So let me give you a real life example of this and a very relatable example of this. You see people when they go gym, they say their muscle they get bigger, their muscle they grow, they get bigger. That is trying to explain the Lamarck's theory of evolution. Okay, that when you use organs or when you use tissue, they grow bigger, but when you don't use them, they become smaller. So when you use it, you they lift weights, they use your muscles, they gym, your muscles grow and they become what? Bigger. But when you stop using them, they grow smaller. Let me now give you an example of when you are not using them any longer. Let's say the person becomes sick. Have you seen a sick person before? A person that is severely sick, seriously ill. You notice that they have lost their functionality to some extent. Okay, most of them, they stand up from bed or day bed. You see their muscles. You notice that the person will come lean. So that's it. It's not the sickness that is actually reducing their muscle mass or the size of their muscles and tissue. The muscle is, the muscle is degenerating or the muscle is wasting, reducing in size as a result of disuse because it's not being used. Okay, that qualifies this Lamarck's theory of evolution. Okay, now let's look at the principle of this theory. Okay, the principle is under the inheritance of acquired characteristic. If like say now here, now they prove this theory wrong. Okay, it was disproven at this junction. It was disproven. Okay, so under this principle, how it works. Okay, we want to understand how this theory works. All right, inheritance of acquired characteristics. This is where the theory, the limitation of this theory. Okay, because acquired characteristics cannot be inherited. You know, if you say because your papa first slim, your papa can't go gym, can't raise weight finish, you can't grab, get body finish. Okay, you can't say the pikin way go born, go grab. No, it's not genetic. It's something your dad acquired while on earth. So it's not genetic. So if the child want to acquire such, the child will have to go to his own gym and acquire his or her muscle too. Okay, so that's it. So you can see changes acquired during lifetime passes to offspring. This one are the principle, but it was what disapproved, okay, or disproven. Still on the aspects and the details, we are looking at the mechanism. The mechanism, how does it work? Okay, it works through internal, which is vital force that drives organism towards complexity. Internal force, it starts from within. Okay, it is from within. You make the decision. It drives this organism through complexity, and environment creates need leading to new habits. So you stay now, you say, I want get body. I want big. I want make my muscle big. Maybe if you lift something, you derive it from the inside. Then from within, you drive. You get this drive towards complexity. You want to look different. Okay, and you start going to gym. The gym is now your environment that creates the need for a new habit. Your environment gives you the need because of what you face in your environment. Then you oppress me. I want to be bigger. You now. You employ a new habit, which is going to gym, or it could be that they are body shaming you, or you want to look healthier. That's the mechanism at which it works. Okay, it starts from within, inside. Okay, and you utilize your environment to achieve an acquired characteristic or trait through a new habit. All right. Let's look at the classic example. Okay, I've given you different examples, but let's look at more examples. Okay, in the one with the inside textbook. Okay, those examples I give you, I wanted you to understand it in depth, so that if you see other examples, you can easily see this is what Lamarck's theory of evolution. All right. So most of the time, Jamb will set it with an example. Okay, they will use the example to set them. So Lamarck believed that because a giraffe they stretch neck, they chop leaf for up, they try to stretch the chop leaf, that make their neck come long. They can't pass them from parent to offspring, from parents to offspring. You see? Okay. Another example is blacksmith's muscular arm. Strong, that's the person give children. They can't get strong arm, the children, and web feet in aquatic bed. That's it. So, what is the status of this Lamarck's theory? Also called the Lamarckism. Okay, the Lamarckism. What's the status? Disproven. August Weismann's experiment, which is cutting mouse tail for 22 generations, 22 whooping generations. That's no joke. Cut mouse tail for 22 whooping generations showed acquired traits, not inherited traits. Okay, it shows that it is acquired, it is not inherited. Okay, they acquire it while on earth. It is not passed from parent to offspring. So it was what? Disproven. Or this Lamarck or Lamarckism, the theory of evolution, disproven. All right. Now let's look at the Darwin's theory of evolution, also called the Darwinism or natural selection. All right. I already explained this theory before, but let's look at it in depth. Darwin was born in 1809 and he died in 1882. Okay. What is this his Darwinism or theory of natural selection all about? Overproduction. Organism, this one is the first one. Overproduction. Organisms produce more offspring than survive. Is that true or false? That's true. Because if organisms know they produce more offsprings, the word for don't finish. Say death rate high past birth rate. Death rate high past birth rate. Death rate high past birth rate. Let me say the word for don't empty now. So the birth rate is higher than the death rate. All right. The second one is variation. Individual shows differences in traits. Is that not true? True or false? It's true. All right. So the next one, number 3, is struggle for existence, competition for limited resources. You must struggle as an organism to exist, to be alive, to feed, to fend for yourself. Okay, you must struggle. Is that in existence or not? Is it true or false? It's true. Okay, so what is the principle? Now the principle we read, so survival of the fittest, which is true. What? Natural selection. Natural selection is all about the survival of the fittest. Who fit pass, now go collect this thing. Who fit pass, now go do this thing. Okay. Okay, so survival of the fittest. Herbert Spencer, best adapted survive. Okay, so the best adapted, the best species or the best organism will adapt well to that environment survives, and that is it. That is how it has always been. Okay, then number 5, natural selection. Natural selection. Okay, nature selects favorable variation. So that's it. Nature will select through the natural environment, the natural habitat. Now who will survive for that nature? Now will be the fittest. Now will be the selected. That's why it's called natural selection. Who will survive? The natural environment, the natural habitat, the natural situation, the natural condition. That's seen as the fittest. Selected through what? Natural selection. So nature selected that variation or that organism. As simple as that. So the final which it sees is inheritance. Selected traits passed to offspring. Selected traits passed to offspring. Okay, so all those traits acquired through natural selection is passed to offsprings. Yes or no? Yes. So if your parents, for example, are parents that your parents strong where they pass through, make during the time of slavery, it made Africans so strong. And African, because of that slavery and because of what they were subjected to, and they had to survive various unfavorable conditions, they started, giving birth to stronger, stronger breed, stronger variation of Africans, due to slavery and what the foreparents underwent. Okay, so that's it. It's passed on. The fitness from natural selection, the adaptability from natural selection is passed on from parent to offspring. It's inherited, or it's inheritable. Now let's understand the mechanism at which this Darwinism or the theory of natural selection operates on. All right, it operates on a gradual accumulation of favorable variation over generation. So as different variation continues to survive in that harsh environment, in that harsh condition, that variation will continue to accumulate. Before you know, you will get a full community of a fit variation, a variation that has been naturally selected, a variation that has been selected by nature. As simple as that, ABC. All right. What is the evidence of the Darwinism? What is the evidence? Galapagos finches, okay, which is the different big variation in birds. Okay. Another one is fossil record, whereby you use the remainings of animals to study them. Okay, to study about them. Use it to know what happened in the past, the remainings of animals. Okay, forensic activity also help in this process of fossil record. So we use the forensic to figure, okay, fossil record. All right, because animals like dinosaur, for example, dinosaur, they said this animal existed, and the animal is a very big animal, very big and powerful animal. So we don't see dinosaur now true in fossil records, like in bones. Now we take the study them, okay, for inside museum. Now their bones, they will show you. They'll say this is a bone of. So the animal remaining, that's what they use as the evidence. Okay, evidence of this Darwinism theory or the theory of natural selection. Another one is artificial selection. Artificial selection, whereby you select it artificially according to what you see. Okay, according to what you see, this is the fittest. For this one to fit, do like this. This must be the fittest. Okay, artificial selection. And I will give you an example of this artificial selection. When we want to get married, okay, we don't marry from our family. We go to another village, we go to another town, we go to another city, to another state, to another country to get married. And when we go there, we always look out for the fittest husband to get married to. We don't go there, they marry who sick, who know where. No, they marry the fittest. This is artificial selection. All right. And what is the status of this Darwinism, the Darwin's theory of natural selection? What is the status? What is the remark? It's accepted. is the foundation of modern evolutionary. It is the foundation of modern evolutionary theory. This Darwinism that you can see on the screen now is accepted, not like the Lamarck's theory that was rejected, disproven, because August Weismann carried out an experiment with the tail of a mouse for 22 whooping generations and figured out that acquired characteristics are not passed from parent to offspring, rather they are acquired. Okay, offsprings, they later go acquire those characteristics. They are not passed from parents. Parents don't come and acquire characteristic and pass the acquired characteristic to offspring. No, it's impossible. Now let's look at organic theory. Organic theory is also another important theory of evolution that Jamb says we should, get accustomed to. Okay, we should get accustomed to. Now let's understand the organic theory. Okay, the organic evolution theory states that organic evolution, you know the meaning of organic, is natural. Okay, is equal to the sum total of all adaptive changes over a long period of time, resulting in a diversity of forms, structures, and functions among organisms. So all the sum total number, everything will happen naturally, adaptive changes over a long period of time that result in a diverse form of organism. With a diverse form, structures, function among organisms. That is the organic theory of evolution. Very easy to know. Every other change will occur, both for the functionality, both for the structures, both for the forms, will create that diversity, that changes, that difference. Okay, that difference. Okay, that's the organic evolution theory. Okay, and this theory explains the unity, which is common ancestry, and the diversity, which is adaptation of life. So the unity is how the ancestry used to be. Then the diversity is the one gotten from evolution. That's this organic evolution. As the variation or the form of the organism continue to change as years pass by, change. Then they tell us, say, life originates from where? From what? From what? Prokaryotic cells. All life, all cells were once a prokaryotic cell. Okay? All cells were once a prokaryotic cell. So that's evolution. That's evolution. So it explains the unity, which is common ancestry from the ancestral time, and the diversity, the one we now acquire from adaptation of life through a long time, through years. That's it, as simple as ABCD. Let us relate the Lamarck and the Darwin's theory. Okay, let's just do the relation sharp. No time to waste. Okay, on the left side of the table, this left column, we have the features of each of the theories. Okay, in the middle column we have Lamarck's theory. In the right column we have Darwin's theory. Okay, now the first feature we have here is the driving force. What's the driving force of Lamarck's theory? Force towards perfection. Because of the force towards perfection, that drive inside of you to impress or to be like this or to change something, that is why you start using your organs or you start using your tissues for it to grow bigger. Okay, then for Darwin, what is the driving force? It's natural selection from nature, selected by nature. Okay, then the second feature is the role of the environment. What does the environment have to play? What role does the environment have to play? Okay, in these theories or in achieving these theories. Okay, for Lamarck, creates need leading to changes. It is the environment that that drive this urge to change. Maybe someone body shamed you, or you try to raise something, you know if you raise them, so you are trying to go for a bigger muscle, so that you can carry things better. Okay, so that's it. It comes from the environment. Okay, then you now get that motivation from within. All right, then you now use the environment to acquire what you want to achieve. For the Darwin's theory, the role of the environment is that the environment selects from existing variation. Now the nature the selector, the environment selects it. Okay. The third feature is the nature of change. What is the nature of change in Lamarck's theory? Okay, it's directional, it's continuous, upwards. But in Darwin's theory, it's non-directional, it's based on fitness. In Lamarck's theory, it's directional. It means that you can control it, you can make it continuous. But in Darwin's theory, it is not predictable. You can't make it continuous, it's non-directional. You can't say this organism, if they are subjected to such conditions, they are going to be like this. No. Now, what you see after nature don't select them, now you go take. It is unpredictable. Okay, not like the one you just go to gym, you start to lift weights, you don't already know, say, if I lift this weight for 2 months, my muscle will grow. No, the Darwin's theory is not like that. Then what is the inheritance, the future inheritance? Okay, acquired characteristic inherited. That is what Lamarck said. Acquired characteristics are inherited, which was disproven. Okay, and the Darwin's theory, only genetic variations are inherited. Only genetic variation. Those variations will occur due to adaptability, occur for the gene due to adaptability, due to natural selection. Say adaptability, they affect gene. It cause about changes, okay, variation. Okay, so now only that one, then they transfer from parent to offspring. Only that one can be inherited. Okay, only that one is inheritable. All right. The next feature is speed of evolution. How fast is the evolution? The Lamarck's theory own is gradual but direct. But the Darwin's theory is gradual but branching. Both of them are gradual. But the Lamarck's theory is straightforward. Lamarckism is straightforward. I just go to gym, I start raising weights, my muscle start to grow. But Darwin's own is not straightforward. That's why it's not predictable, it's not directional. Okay, it's not directional. The final feature we have here is the evidence status. Okay, what is the evidence status of the Lamarck's theory? Disproven. It was disproven by the experiment carried out by August Weismann. Okay, then for the Darwin's theory, what is the evidence status? Cornerstone of modern biology. That's it is the what? The cornerstone, the foundation, the base of modern genetic evolution. So when you talk about evolution, now Darwin name, now you go call first because he is the father of evolution. Let's quickly run through the key points. Okay, in this, these are what we have treated. This from biotechnology to Darwin's theory, everything. We'll just do some key points. A summary of all we have treated. All right, we have to be very fast. All right, on the left side of the table, the left column, we have the concepts. While on the right side of the table, we have the key points. Let's look at them. Okay, for the first concept, biotechnology. What is it all about? Agriculture, which is what genetically modified crop. You have branch of medicine, which is what genetic therapy or gene therapy. You have pharmaceuticals, which is antibiotics production, and you have the food, which is fermentation, and so on and so forth. All right. Then for Lamarck's mechanism, what is it all about? Organs and tissue use and disuse, which further leads to inheritance of acquired characteristics, and it was what disproven. The next is Darwin's mechanism. What does this Darwin's theory? What's the mechanism at which it operates? How does it work? Okay, it operates through natural selection, acting on random variations, which is what accepted. Random variation, natural selection, nature selects. Okay. The next is direct evidence. You know that this Lamarck's theory is direct, is straightforward. Okay, so is the evidence is through fossil records. The fossil records show actual remaining of ancestral forms. That's it. Why for the indirect evidence? All this indirect evidence now, the evidence that's like when you say direct evidence, we are talking about the evidence that is directly related to the particular theory or the particular concept that we are talking about. For example, this Darwin's theory and this Lamarck's theory, fossil record is direct evidence. It's what you can see directly. You have it. Okay, it's something concrete. It's direct. Okay, it shows actual remains of ancestral forms. Okay, but for indirect evidence, it's not directly related. It has a relation to these theories, but it's not fully. It's not. You are doing it indirectly. It's not directly connected to it. You have key points such as comparative anatomy, embryology, physiology, biogeography, and so on and so forth. So those ones are indirect evidence of Lamarck's and Darwin's theory and so on and so forth. The next concept is homologous. Okay, what's the key point? Common ancestry, different function, divergent evolution. That's what they mean. Common ancestry. They get the same ancestry, but they can get different functions and form as time goes by. Variation, from variation. So analogous structure. Jamb, they said this one well. Okay, analogous structures. Okay, different ancestry. What's the key point about this analogous structure? Different ancestry. You can see that homologous. Homo means one, common ancestry, one ancestry. But analogous structure means that the ancestry is different. Okay, analogous, different ancestry, same function. You can see for homologous we have common ancestry, different functions. Okay, but and this homologous structure is known as the divergent evolution. Jamb, the set question for here. Therefore, the analogous is different ancestry, same function, and it's known as the convergent evolution. As easy as that. If you see them for your Jamb, mark tick the correct answer because they set and if you look past question CD. Okay, so vestigial structure. This one is the third structure. Reduced / non-functional remnants of ancestral features. That's what vestigial structures. Reduced / non-functional remnants of ancestral features or structures. All right. So what is neo-Darwinism? Neo means new. But let's look at neo-Darwinism is like an improve. They improved this Darwin theory. They modified it to get what? Natural selection plus genetics plus mutation plus gene flow plus genetic drift. Everything. And they inside the neo-Darwinism. It's neo means new. New Darwinism. It involves natural selection, genetics, mutation, gene flow, genetic drift, and so on and so forth. You know the meaning of genetic drifts now. Genetic drifts. Okay, you do them like this, you change them like this, so you know whether you will get a new thing. You change them like this, so you see the new thing when you get change them like this. All these things they help for with modification of organism. It helps in what? Genetic modification. Okay, now that we have understood evolution, the Darwin's, the Lamarck's theory, the limitations of Lamarck's theory, and so on and so forth. Let's now, take some Jamb must repeat questions to test the knowledge we've acquired so far. Jamb must repeat questions. Question 265. Darwin's theory of evolution is based on the principle of what? A. Use and disuse of organs. B. Natural selection. C. Acquired characteristics. D. Mutation. What's the answer? This is so easy. I already taught this now. Do not disgrace me. Give me that answer in the comment section. Question 266. The use and disuse of body parts and the inheritance of acquired traits were used to explain what? A. Darwin's theory. B. Lamarck's theory. C. Genetic drift. D. Organic theory. What's the answer? Give me the answer. This is free mark now. Do not disgrace your village people now. Jamb must repeat question 267. The long neck in giraffe is used to illustrate the theory of I told you that if Jamb wants set down, they will set down with example. Now I give you all the example, both real life own, and I give you the ones within inside textbook. All right. A. Use and disuse. B. Origin of species. C. Origin of life. D. Natural selection. What's the answer? supply that answer in the comment section, because this is obviously and definitely a free mark for you in this your JAMB that you want to take. JAMB must repeat question 268. Which of the following is an example of convergent evolution? I tell you, say JAMB, the same question for there where the teacher may be. See for your screen. One of the most repeated questions from evolution. A, is it wing of insect and wings of bird? B, is it 4 limbs of humans and 4 limbs of whale? C, is it hearts of fish and hearts of mammals? D, is it skull of reptiles and skull of bird? What's the answer? Drop the answer in the comment section. If you know the definition of the convergent evolution, you should know the correct option to pick. Okay, you should know the correct option to pick. Which one is the same and which one is different? Which one is the same and which one is different? That's what you just have. That's what you have to know here. Okay, the one that's supposed to be the same and the one that's supposed to be different. Which one? Pick the correct option. JAMB must repeat questions 269. According to the Charles-Darwin theory of evolution, natural selection involves the survival of the what? A, weakest. B, most populous. C, youngest. D, fittest. I think you look so healthy and strong at this your age. Drop the answer in the comment section, my scholar. This is a free mark now. What do you wait for? No disgrace me. With this, we have come to the end of biology for JAMB preparation this year. Stop playing. Don't play with me. Anything I tell you that I am, that's what I am. So now, what do you have to do? Start your revision class. No time, no time. If you don't have this lesson notes, send me a DM to get a copy of this lesson notes containing all the JAMB syllabus, everything tailored from the JAMB syllabus, very short, concise, straight to the point. All you need is this. Remember, we have JAMB must repeat questions in every topic. All the questions commonly repeated by JAMB to test you as soon as you finish, studying the topic. Immediately you finish that topic, very short, you knock your JAMB must repeat question. You wait, you register one for your brain permanently. Nothing goes out. So if you also need the material of the comprehensive most repeated questions by JAMB in JAMB UTME, most recurring questions, high frequency questions in JAMB, not just the questions, you have the calculations inside, you have the explanations inside, explanation to the answer. We don't drop only the answer, we also drop the explanation, short explanation to the answer. Now all these things you need now for your revision. Okay, so all you have to do, send me a DM. Okay, send me a DM, go to my profile, you see my phone number there, send me a DM, get your copy. I wish you good luck in your JAMB UTME 2026. I am Unkwado Augustine. I am the best educator. What will I do right now? I'm out of this place.